We have very powerful words in the scriptures, in the readings of today. Just this last one reminds me of many a saint who was converted and gave up all possessions when they heard, what profit is there for one to gain the whole world, yet lose or forfeit himself? I remember one, Anthony Claret. He heard that as he listening Mass in the cathedral, and he was successful weaver, the best with the best designs, won over Paris and London, right there in Barcelona. And it was at his height of these achievements as a great, how would you say, a student who was learning the trade the best ever in competition with the best. And so this is when he heard that. What profit is there for one to gain the whole world, yet lose or forfeit himself? And left everything. And then he tried to go to the seminary. First he wanted to be a Carthusian, but then he was directed in another way. So other saints have also have had that kind of a power from the gospel. We hear also from on the first reading there, from Deuteronomy, Moses, and giving us, or God giving us through Moses a choice, life or death. So they're very powerful. So with those kinds of readings, as we entering into this holy season, our Holy Father has given us a message, and just to make it very short, that his Lenten message is entitled, "Make Your Hearts Firm." And just let me read you the very first paragraph. And you see where he situates everything else he says for us. So it isn't just a personal change or conversion, but in the context of where we are. And he says, Lent is a time for renewal for the whole church, for each communities and every believer. So the whole church worldwide, each community and every believer. 3 different levels. Above all, it is a time of grace. God does not ask of us anything that he himself has not first given us. We love because he first has loved us. He is not aloof from us. Each one of us has a place in his heart. He knows us by name. He cares for us, and he seeks us out whenever we turn away from him. He is interested in each one of us. His love does not allow him to be indifferent to what happens to us. Usually, when we are healthy and comfortable, we forget about others, something God the Father never does. We are unconcerned with their problems, their sufferings, and the injustices they endure. Our heart grows cold. As long as I am relatively healthy and comfortable, isn't that right? I do not think about those less well off. Today, this selfish attitude of indifference has taken on global proportions to the extent that we can speak of a globalization of indifference. It is a problem which we as Christians need to confront. Wow. So there is the indifference to our neighbor and obviously to God. And that is also a temptation that represents to every Christian. And so we enter, so he gives us these 3 things. First, if one member suffers, all suffer together, in the sense of church. Then he says, the second consideration is, where is your brother? Parishes and communities. Remember, where is your brother? And then he says, make your hearts firm as individual Christians, and then as a community. And we can help by acts of charity and the suffering of others. Whenever we see the suffering of others, guess what? That is a call to conversion. another perspective of seeing it, not just seeing them independently far away. No, that's already a call from God. And then, and so those are the recommendations the Holy Father gives us as we continually reflect on our change, our pilgrimage to this holy land. And so let us continue.